I listen to the music these days, and some of the music is good. I'm not gonna even lie. I ain't one of those old heads, so to speak, that just hates this generation. That's not what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? If you got good music out there, you got good music out there. No doubt. I don't care if you're 19, 18, 15, 12, or whatever. If you're putting out good music, that's all what counts with me. And age doesn't have a number on it when you're putting out good music. It's just that plain and simple. But I will say this, that the music that I'm listening to nowadays, it's all garbage. A few exceptions to the rules, you understand? But for the most part, it's basically garbage. Y'all got the same flow, same beat, same cadence, all that. And you expect for me to listen to a full album of that shit? You have no diversity in your album. And this is not me chastising your generation, whether it's the millennials or Generation Z. It's just the truth. That at the end of the day, where's the revolution in hip hop? Because at one point in time, hip hop was revolutionary. It went against the system. It went against status quo. You know what I'm saying? People were walking around with their caps turned to the front. We twisted our shit to the side or to the back. We were anti-everything. We wanted the power to be in the people. That's what hip hop was about at one point in time. And now things have changed. And the powers that be have weaponized hip hop. So now this type of music that you're listening to is self-destructive. It's black genocide. Where you have music that's being played and it's putting you in a trance. And now you're fighting against one another. Brother against brother, sister against sister. Old against young, mother against daughter, father against son. That's not how it was in the very beginning, man. And this is the reason why us old heads get upset, because at the end of the day, people such as myself and others, hip hop raised us. You know, our fathers weren't there to raise us, but hip hop did. And you would get that news report, no lie. You would literally get that news report like CNN, Capone and Noriega. You would be told what was going on in the streets, what was going on in the world through rap songs. In all actuality, hip hop was our version of the Underground Railroad. And there was several Harriet Tubmans running around in the form of a rapper, letting you know, leading you the way out to freedom. But that's not what's going on now. They separated the young and the old. We used to sample. That was a good thing. That was a beautiful thing, because the soul was in our music. From the greats, your Dizzy Gillespie's, your Roy Ayers, your James Brown, your Donald Byrds, Muddy Waters, and the list goes on. When our generation, 90s, us 90s kids, when we were running hip hop, we honored and respect our so-called old heads. And it didn't make a difference what they did in their life. It's the path or the way that they showed us that we respected. Because if it weren't for a Dizzy Gillespie, a Roy Ayers, a Donald Byrd, a James Brown, if it weren't for them, there would be no hip hop. We knew our history, and we knew just how valuable those so-called old heads were and are to hip hop. Y'all don't. I was brought up You know what I mean? Every Saturday, my moms would clean up, and I had to help her clean up. And I remember, you know what I'm saying, she would, have me pick out a, song or an album, to play while we was cleaning up. And I remember like looking at the album covers, and I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? She had Earth, Wind & Fire, and just about every Earth, Wind & Fire album, you know what I'm saying, the cover of it had like Egyptian shit on it. You know what I'm saying? And it just marveled me as a kid. I remember, the album cover of Bob Marley. I think it's called Uprising, where he was coming out of the ground with his hands up in the air and dreads everywhere. And it when I saw it, it showed to me, it was a symbol of strength. Look how we were brought up. We had real singers, real R&B singers like Luther Vandross, Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker, the Isley Brothers, and the likes. This is the reason why the 90s was so strong, because we pledge allegiance. We formed an alliance between the young and the old. My father was listening to Jay-Z. Even he could relate to certain rap songs that were out when we had hip hop under control. And just think about that shit. Think about you, millennials and your Generation Zs. If you don't already have children, just think about when you have children. Of course, you don't have physical albums. You can purchase them, but let's just run with the digital albums, and you tell your son or daughter, hey, you know what? It's Saturday, we're going to clean the house. Go in to Apple or whatever, you get your shit from, and pick out a, selection of music. And they're going to go and pick out their selection of musics. And their classics are going to be Young Thug. And on an album cover of a Young Thug album cover will be a picture of him wearing a dress. Think about that. We had Marvin Gaye, what's going on? And this is the reason why we came out. When we came out, when we put out hip hop, we came out with Public Enemy, Fight the Power, Brand Nubian, Sunshine. That sample, that had that Roy Ed sample. We had the Native Tongues, Queen Latifah, A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Poor Righteous Teachers. We had them. Hip hop wasn't just about having fun. It was all about, you know what I'm saying? Informing people, informing black people. It was a revolutionary type of music. And that's how we found out in South Africa, apartheid still existed at that point in time. And we helped end that shit by putting the light on that, on South Africa. Straight up. This is what we were doing in the 90s. We stood for something. Just about every album in the 90s had a revolutionary song, a love song, you know what I'm saying? You respecting the black woman, talking about the kids. We were very diverse in the songs that we had on our albums. But nowadays it's just kill, 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 murder, 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 drugs, 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 drugs. And that is it. If you all are not, through your music, if you all are not drugged the fuck up, popping pills, drinking cough syrup, and all the rest of that shit, then you're infeminized. You walking around here with thongs on and shit. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This is real. I'm not even making this shit up. I'm not embellishing on the truth whatsoever. Yo, just the other day, I had second thoughts about going to the YMCA that I go to. Even though it's a state of the art YMCA, I'm just tired of seeing crazy shit. So just the other day, I went to the YMCA and I saw a dude in the men's locker room with a whole fucking dominatrix type shit on, like the leather straps with his nipple nipple hanging out of the strap. Like, it was ridiculous. He had the whole outfit on, with the exception of the mask that you put over your face. Other than that, he had the shit around his neck, straps around his chest, and on his arm and his wrist, and all of that shit with some green ass hair. This is what your generation is producing. And don't tell me, oh, it's because the white man. The white man is behind it. I say that shit. The white man is backing you all and financing it, and coming up with the videos and this and that and so forth and blah, 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 blah. But according to you, this is according to you, all you thugs out there, you know what I'm saying? You run the streets, you got street cred and all the rest of that shit. Can't nobody take nothing from you. When you was selling them packs and shit out on the street, couldn't nobody take shit from you. Right? But all of a sudden, when it comes to you getting a record deal, you bitching, you crying and all the rest of that shit. You ain't pulling up on Peckerwood. You ain't pulling up no Mr. Nerd. Dorky ass motherfucker that's literally stealing your money because he has you being a slave to the paper. What I mean by the paper is by contracts that you signed. Now he can legally take your shit, but you ain't doing shit to him. Where's all that thug talk now? You ain't put one finger on that motherfucker. But you'll definitely put it on your brother. If that motherfucker say something wrong or out of the way that you think is disrespectful on Instagram or on YouTube or any social media at that. Shit, we ain't into character assassinating anyone anymore. We into literally killing them. Y'all are literally dying for no fucking reason. What? Cyber clout? Yo, some of y'all motherfuckers need to go back to school, man. Straight up. Maybe you need to listen to Biggie Smalls, 10 Crack Commandments, 50 Cent How to Rob, or some shit, because I don't understand. How can y'all be, and I don't promote criminal activities. But if you're going to be a criminal, if you're going to go around doing what you're doing and being a thug and all the rest of that shit, at least be smart about the shit. Y'all motherfuckers is getting offline, going offline, right? First y'all threaten the person that you say that you're going to shoot. You threaten the motherfucker. Don't delete none of the comments, right? Online, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, you do a YouTube video about it. Oh, I'm going to do this, that, and so forth. You tell everybody what fucking street you going to do it on, what time you going to do it. Shoot that motherfucker, that is. What time you gonna shoot him, which street you gonna be on, the day you gonna be there, and all. What you got on and everything. Then you actually go out there and do what you say, and then come back and brag about the shit online. Like, no lie, I don't give a fuck about the cops. But at the end of the day, I would love to be a cop right now, because I'll get mad bonuses. All I gotta do is just go online, go to your Instagram page and your YouTube channel. Case closed. You already damn fucking opened the case and closed it for me. I ain't had to do no type of field work. None. They ain't had to get no type of investigators or we didn't have to interrogate none of that shit. Y'all already done the job for us. And by the way, it's crazy that I was mentioning the cops. In our music, we was like, fuck the police. In our music, we were like, yo, fuck the powers that be. Fuck the powers that, fight the powers that be. All that. I don't hear none of y'all talking about the police. I mean, y'all don't have problems with your politicians. Your local politicians, y'all don't have problems with sleepy Joe Biden. Like, if anything, y'all thugs and all, you know what I'm saying? When you all really be all ears when it comes to gun laws being passed. Oh, I forgot. Y'all are dumb criminals. So y'all like the guns with the serial number scratched off. So when you get caught with that and you facing, 9, 10, 11, 12 charges because that fucking gun got 12 bodies on that motherfucker. This is the reason why us whole heads really like get really upset when it comes to hip hop in this generation, because y'all just let that shit go to shit. And don't give me that shit about some you always weren't there for us and blah 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 blah. Motherfucker, do you understand what I just said in the very beginning? The old heads in our generation weren't there for us, but they paved the way, meaning that we went back and we listened to the James Brown's albums and songs. We went back and listened to your Roy Ayers and the likes. They didn't have to physically be there to tell us right from wrong. We learned from their music. We went through the same thing y'all motherfuckers are going through now. But we didn't bitch and complain about the shit. I didn't grow up, I grew up without a father. My father was there, but he wasn't there. I was living in North Carolina, he was living in New York. I didn't grow up with my father. It wasn't until I became older is when I stayed with my father. By that time, I'm already damn near, I'm a teenager about to be a young man. But I'm not sitting here shitting on the old heads, my old heads. I'm not saying, well, my father wasn't supposed to be there. He was near this and that, so forth. No, hip hop raised me. And I'm glad that there's catalogs out there of music that I can sit down and I can listen to. And when I hear Marvin Gaye, when I hear Roy Ayers, when I hear Gil Scott-Heron, you know what I'm saying? I know what was going on back then. And I can sit back and say, well, shit, ain't nothing changed. The same shit that they were singing and they were talking about back then is the same shit that we talking about right now. Well, at least in the 90s, y'all ain't talking about shit this generation. Nothing. The babies definitely ain't gonna learn from you. You so focused on how us old heads ain't teaching y'all shit. What are you all teaching the younger ones? I can tell you what you teaching them. Being heavily sedated. And if it gets really bad, I'm gonna hit y'all real hard. I don't give a fuck. For real, pause. When it gets really bad, do yourself off. Put your head to bed. Straight up. When you can't take the pressure. When you've done enough drugs to the point where you can't do anymore. When you can't face reality, then do yourself off. We wasn't about that. We weren't about that bullshit. But that's what this generation is about. You can't take the pressure of reality, of life. We did. And we put it in our songs. And it's still there for those that want to listen to it. We were on some real shit in the 90s. I wore Timberlands all seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall. There's a war going on outside nobody's safe from. Mobb Deep. Survival of the fittest. Do you understand? Oh my God, I'm gonna be done with this. This is my word. Mobb Deep made a song called Survival of the Fittest. Only the strong survive. We wore army fatigues. I wore army fatigues all day, every day. That's what our generation was about. And they had to crush that shit. The powers that be, they was like, oh no, we can't have these Negroes out here, you know what I'm saying, on some militant shit. I used to listen to Boot Camp Click. That's the name of the fucking group, Boot Camp Click. One of them was called Smith & Wesson. The other one was called Helter Skelter. Black Moon. We was listening to Wu-Tang Clan. And these people were motivating and inspiring us to say, fuck this shit. Y'all talking about the Illuminati? We was talking about that shit. Nas was talking about that shit years ago. Nas, Wu-Tang, all of them. I go as far as to say that Biggie was a soothsayer. He foreseen the shadow. Foreseen the shadow. Foreseen the future. What did he say? Blow up like the World Trade? J. Rule said the same thing. J. Rule the Damager. Our music was magical. And that's the reason why it will always be the golden era. Won't no era. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no era can ever top the 90s. Ever. There'll never be any type of fucking hip hop ever like that. Ever again. And I suggest you young people study that shit. You study those artists. Stop bitching and complaining and pointing the finger. You old head, you old head. We know more than you motherfuckers. I can understand if your mom's got fucked, you know what I'm saying, by Method Man, you know, at the after party, and he ain't want to claim your dumb ass. Then you could go around, you know, calling people names. Other than that, man, shut the fuck up. And start listening to some real music. Because your shit is synthetic. For real. Has no substance. I'm just being real. It's only a few people that you all could rely on for some good music. That's for real. And it's just real. Drake. J. Cole. Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar puts out a goddamn album every fucking 1,500 years. J. Cole, he does one once every other year. Drake, he seems to be consistent, but he's just not diverse. You know what I'm saying? He's a lover man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some diversity. And that's the only three that I really kind of know that's really like putting out some type of substance. Other than that, man, all I hear is kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. Oh, while we're not killing anyone right now, let's go pop some pills, get high, fornicate, 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 fornicate. Go back, murder, 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 kill, 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 get high, fornicate, fornicate, and then it's a woe is me song that all of y'all motherfuckers got in your album. Oh, woe is me. I can't take life anymore. I can't take it. Oh, let me do myself out. Do myself in. And man, y'all fucking hip hop ain't even hip hop. Y'all niggas is singing. Singing and mumbling. Ain't making sense. Dozing off and shit.